Hello, I'm Andrew Craston in the ASFA studio for the third of a four-part discussion on MetLife's Future Insights Report. We're focusing on wellbeing as a business imperative, and I'm joined by Michael Roberts, MetLife's Global Chief Marketing Officer, and Lina, MetLife Australia's Chief Customer and Marketing Officer. Michael, how has the definition of wellbeing changed, and why is this so desirable?
Andrew, it's a great question, and what we saw in the research is that the definition of well-being continues to broaden and is on the mind of consumers globally. And what we saw in the research is that consumers are more proactive than ever and expect more in terms of well-being, and they want partners to help them with that. Interestingly enough, from a societal perspective, people believe that if actions are taken to address well-being, it'll positively shift the direction in which society is headed. And then based on some work we've done in the US as well, we've demonstrated that holistic health, financial health, social health, physical health, and mental health are strongly correlated with employee retention and productivity, as well as employee engagement and happiness. So well-being is a personal, societal, and a business imperative based on our research. Unfortunately, when we look at it from a societal perspective, what we're seeing in the research is that some of these expectations are being missed by society and by companies as well. 85% of those surveys wish that society was set up to promote well-being, and only 64% say that society is currently set up to do so. And 84% say that although many companies have learned to say the right things about employee well-being, few actually take meaningful action. And this is particularly staggering considering the efforts that most organizations feel they went through, to address the challenges of the pandemic. But what we also saw is that some of this, I'd say, negative sentiment is because there's a belief that well-being has been sacrificed for profit in society. But there's also some good news. And some optimism. Over 70% of the people, both locally and globally, have confidence that by 2035, businesses will be able to maximize not just profit, but also a positive impact on their local communities and environment. And so kind of in and around this, idea of well-being and how it impacts both people personally, societally, and from a business perspective, there's a great opportunity for companies.
Oh, thanks, Michael. Lina, what actions are employees expecting of their employers, and how would these changes impact their performance?
Well, employees are expecting, what we heard was 9 out of 10 people in the research told us that they're expecting their employees to support their overall well-being. And specifically, 90% told us that if their employees supported their mental health, it would actually impact their performance. And not only their performance at work, but their overall well-being outside of work as well. So that was a really interesting piece of information. 80% want organisations to make a 10-year commitment to their people, to their communities, and to the overall planet. And what we saw is when organisations actually get well-being right, there's a significant benefit across the organisation. We see increased employee happiness, we see better employee relationships, overall performance, and equality. So well-being is, it's clear to see why it's so connected to productivity, to performance and growth for individuals, but also for businesses and communities and for societies overall. It isn't surprising that organisations are taking this holistic approach to well-being, and with that in mind, that's why we created the 360 Health program, because we wanted to support employers and employees and their customers overall with their well-being. So 360 Health is aimed at allowing you or supporting you to live healthier for longer.
Thanks, Lina. And thank you to Michael. Join us for part 4 of our discussion on MetLife's Future Insights Report, where we'll take a deep dive into the collective aspiration for security and stability.